Our guest today is one of my closest friends, Adrian Ranieri. Adrian is the founder of LNDR Group, a boutique asset finance brokerage with the aim of helping people obtain finance without the headaches. This is as true and authentic as it gets, the realities of owning a business. If you're starting a business or want to start, this is a must listen. Welcome to The Leap, a business journeys podcast where we dive deep into the journey of business owners to learn from their successes and failures. Our goal is a simple one, to help more businesses succeed. I am very excited to have you on the podcast. This will be a little bit different for our listeners. I'd definitely say less professional and just a natural chat. For context to those listening, it's so important to have that person in your life that you speak to on your drive home, vent your frustrations, especially in business, right? But just in general. And this is my person.
Thank you. I normally just use my automated text message when you ring to say I'm on a phone call, I'll call you back, and I never call you back. So that's how we got here to start with.
Yeah, and I also appreciate this new service that you've introduced on your mobile phone that goes to someone else answering your phone now as well.
That was a fantastic investment. So I've realised that only 1% of people that ring me have the patience to go to that service. So I pay $500 a month for no reason. But I guess it's part of being in business.
I reckon 200 of that a month is me going through to that service to leave you a message because I'm annoyed that I went through to this service.
That's exactly what happens.
I love it, man. But
thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
I'm excited, man. So, I mean, you, like a lot of people listening, have always had an interest in just being in business, whatever it looked like. You know, and just had that general thing in you that, you know, a select few of us have to be like, no, I want to do something. I want to build something, right? Where did it start for you? Like, what was your first, I mean, actually take us through like just a brief history of your employment history. Like obviously you came from nightclubs, natural sort of networker. Take us through sort of your employment journey quickly and then how that sort of shaped you getting into, you know, being self-employed.
So I've always worked in sales. That was always my employment. I worked in nightclubs after hours and DJ'd and tried to run events and all that sort of stuff. But where it really came from was every sort of job that I had, I always exceeded in the sales targets, and then I always thought I could do better. Or I could do it better. And then no one listened, and then I quit. And then I went to the next job, and then I exceeded my sales targets, and then I thought I could do it better, and then no one listened, and then I quit. And then I realized if you want to do something better, you have to put your balls on the line and do it yourself. And that's sort of how I ended up here. So in regards to like a resume, if you want to discuss what's my resume, it's not impressive. It's actually quite boring. Call centers, car sales, dabbled in real estate. Don't know how people do that. But any type of sales job that I could get in order to pay the bills at the time, I would take. Mm-hmm. And then I'd do it well, and then I'd get bored, and then I'd quit.
And you ended up from the car sales in car finance internally at a dealership. Was it a big jump? Because you basically
It's actually funny. It's a funny story.
Yeah, take us through it.
So every car sales job that I got, within 3 months, I wanted to be the finance manager there. And I'd always ask, hey, can I get an opportunity to do finance? Because I used to see what they were earning. I used to see, you know, the cars that they would have were better. The shoes, the clothes were better. When they went out for dinner, they went to better places. So I'd be like, oh, they're making bucks here. That sounds like something I want to do. But no one gave me that opportunity. So what I would end up doing is just taking another job selling cars, hoping that the finance manager would quit, and then I'd be able to replace them, and they'd always hire externally. I was quite young. I was always 19, 20, 21, 22, all those sort of ages. So I just constantly got rejected for doing finance, and I wasn't good enough to do it. And then I had a stint. I was like, that's it. I'm doing it myself. So I'm going to go be a mortgage broker. So I went to be a mortgage broker for 6 months, self-employed contractor. I had no money, no savings, and no real safety net whatsoever. Like I'm not from like some house in Elstonwick, you know what I mean? I'm battler from Airport West, you know what I mean? So there was no real safety net. I had no idea what savings meant and all that sort of stuff, but I did it and it was good enough. But the time frame to getting paid and the time frame to actually getting that sort of satisfaction of helping a client took way too long. But I learned. Then I finally got a job came up at a place called Easy Auto 123, which was in Brooklyn. Finance job came up, took it. Within 3 months, I was pretty much the manager there. And then I had to grow the team from 2 staff to 4 staff. Then I started looking after other places around Australia, ended up moving to Perth for it, working in Joondalup and Canning Vale and looking after the finance for both sites. But once again, I thought I could do it better. So I got bored of it, and then I decided to go out on my own.
I really want to go deep here because I look at it and go, dealership worlds, great, people come in the door, you do their finance.
Yep.
You know, you do a good job of that, you sell them then and there, why to use you, but customers are coming in the door.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You going out on your own, I mean, you know the theory, you know the credit side of things, you know actually how to match someone up with the right appropriate lender. But I mean, business is sales, right? And it's referrals and it's, you actually
sales,
your clients, right?
Yeah.
So what was that? Because you didn't go completely out on your own, right? When you first...
No, I worked for another company on a salary, but they were... How do I put this?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I worked for another company just before I went out on my own because I just didn't have the balls to do it. I wish I did, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But I treated it like it was my own. So the salary was irrelevant for me. It was purely just having a safety net while I could build my own business, and they knew this. And I wanted to go out on my own. So what the first 6 months looked like was just a whole bunch of rejection after rejection after rejection. Door knocking, cold calling, walking the streets, fuel lights on every day because you don't have any money to pay for fuel, but you have to go out there to keep door knocking and keep building. And every no is just one step closer to a yes type of thing. And that's all I did. I'm not the smartest. I'm not university educated. Sometimes I'm just too dumb to realize what the risk is. And I think that's one of the keys.
Yeah. I think if you know how hard something is going to be, you would never do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you can't fathom how hard it is, you're going to do it.
Yeah. I'd never do recruitment if I had known what was actually involved.
Yeah.
How hard it is to...
Any sales role, real estate, finance, recruitment, to be honest, any business owner whatsoever, unless they are getting contracts, but even then, you got to sell yourself to get those contracts. Sales is the fundamental part of business. If you can't sell, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah, 100%. And it's interesting, looking across all of the different industries and people that we speak to and all of our clients and people that I know that are business owners, right? Regardless of the industry, even if it's financial planning, assets finance, mortgage broking, like you not only you need to sell to referral partners and build those relationships, but then you need to actually sell the client that walks through the door. Without that skill set,
and I find it fascinating because the main discrepancy between successful service-based businesses and unsuccessful in the eyes of themselves really is sales. So like I speak to thousands of mortgage brokers, and the ones that are successful and are growing and hiring and all that sort of stuff, and you'd be able to sort of agree with this, is they know how to sell. And selling has a misconception of pushing a client into something they don't want. That's not true. Sales is being able to identify the problem that the client has and the solution that they need faster than the other person. That's what I believe sales is.
I think half the problem is just reps, right? Like I always talk about it. It's to get bigger and stronger, you need to do the reps, you need to do the time in the gym. You know, it's that process of repetition. The amount of mortgage brokers or asset finance brokers that do not pick up the phone. And if you ask them, you go, okay, when was the last time you went through, how many people in your phone? How many connections do you have on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
They have not contacted a single person in there to say, hey, do you need our service or do you know someone that needs our service? That is one person, you know, probably have, you know, 1,000, 1,500 contacts and so on and so forth. Like it's just, it's crazy.
Yep. Well, the first thing I did is I went through my phone book, and I messaged every single person. Like I have someone in there that like fluffs up pillows for a couch. I messaged him and was like, hey, I now do asset finance.
That's his job.
It's awesome. Like $200, it comes here when your couch is shit. Instead of buying a new couch, you'll just like pump foam into it. Bro, you got to know people, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Hook me up with that guy.
After this, I'll hook you up. He's unbelievable, right? And he'll do it like.
I didn't know you had a guy for that.
I got a guy. You know, I got a guy. You know what I mean? I just got a guy. But I messaged him. I'm like, hey, just letting you know, I now do asset finance. I do personal loans, car loans, business, whatever.
Cushion loans.
Cushion loan, whatever you need. And he's like, actually, I need to upgrade my van. Perfect timing. And I'm like, I've never done a business loan before for a van. And I don't know the lender that we're going to, like, cool, whatever.
You just do this.
I was like, yeah, cool, done.
Pepper.
Yeah, done. Yeah, so whatever, I just helped him out. And that came from just randomly sending, and look, the stars aligned because it was like so up in the phone list. And I'm like, oh, this works. And I got nothing else out of it. But every single person in my phone book just messaged.
So when you started out the business, it was like, cool, knocking on doors, going through who I know, message them, let them know what I do.
That's it.
Right. What did it feel like taking those first steps when you actually were like, so you worked out, okay, the first 6 months when you were sort of employed, but they weren't giving you anything.
Yeah.
You had enough confidence at that point to know you could do it.
Yeah. I really started to see the other side of the market, to see what was out there. Like what was my competition? And there wasn't a lot. So I just,
when you say there wasn't a lot though, like there's
just a big discrepancy.
Thousands.
Yeah, but there's a big discrepancy between a good broker and a shit broker. So, you know, there was a statistic that came out, and I don't know the numbers, I don't read the articles in full detail, but something along the lines of, you know, more than 50% of mortgage brokers haven't written a loan in the last 12 months. So yeah, there might be like 10,000 mortgage brokers, but 5,000 of them aren't writing, right? And then only an even smaller percentage settled more than 5 loans. So like we're talking about, there are brokers out there that literally just write and settle what they can in order to survive. So if their expenses are, 10 grand a month, mortgage, business, whatever, they will only be able to write that much. They don't go forward, they don't go back, they don't grow, nothing. That's just where they sit.
Yeah. So you were confident enough that, you know, you had brought on people, you had at least some sort of process to be like, okay, I can do this successfully.
I didn't bring on enough people. I had enough confidence to be like, if I just speak to more, we'll be fine.
Okay.
So I took the leap.
Yeah.
Weird plug. I know. So I just took the leap and I was like, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I did.
So at that point, you had absolutely no idea even where to start, right? Like,
no. All I knew is that if someone wanted a loan, I could facilitate it. How that was going to happen, not the client's problem.
Okay.
That was my problem.
So, I mean, what were the big things now looking back in terms of, you know, the important things when you're starting out? You know, and I want to know, I mean, obviously there's the basic stuff, right? We're talking, you know, you go and see an accountant, you get a website up, but from like how am I going to be perceived as different? Was that something that you thought about back then to differentiate yourself?
So there's two avenues that I took. The first avenue is the financial avenue. And so you got to figure out, what does it cost me to fail? Right? So, you know, at the time I was renting with my wife and we had expenses and whatever else it was. And I'm like, cool, it's going to cost me $5,000 a month to live. So I need to have 3 months of that available. So we got that available, right? We saved my little ass off, whatever it was, pulled it together.
Little ass.
Yeah, slightly larger than little, I know. Then we moved out of our property into the shittest, cheapest rental property we could find, right, to cut our expenses, and we signed a 1-year lease. So every dollar that my wife made from her job could cover all of our living expenses. If I didn't make $1, life's good. I got a year. Got a year to make it work, right? That first month, I earned more in that first month than I had in the previous quarter full time.
Wow.
Right? So I just backed myself. What it looked like.
Were you surprised that you found such traction?
Oh yeah, I was shocked.
And that was just through your network, right?
I was shocked. It was just through like grit and network. It was I really didn't do anything that was like game changing. And even to this day, I'm not a multi-million-dollar broker with 15 staff. Bro, it's me and my best mate working in business. You know, or one of my best mates. Sorry, I don't mean to offend Nathan. Working in business.
Everyone's seeing me get my back up.
Yeah. Like
I'm right here.
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not that guy, but it's just a simple formula. If you make the calls, like the formula that I use.
Were you still scared when you?
Bro, I was shit scared. No sleeping. You just don't know. But I wasn't as scared because I prepared
for it. Yeah.
Right? So my wife could cover it. If I didn't make $1 for 12 months, we were good. But as a man, you don't want to be sitting there with, your wife making all the money, kicking.
I don't know if you can.
I couldn't do it.
I mean, outside of this podcast, I don't know if you can say that shit anymore, man.
What, as a what? Well, as a man, beta man, say whatever the fuck I want. What are you going to do? Sack me? It's a whole part of running your own business.
That's the best. I love it.
You know what I mean? But no, it was scary. It was scary. But like, I didn't need an accountant.
Were there points there that you're like, this might not work?
No, because I was very fortunate to partner with my ex-business partner at the time. He was doing it for ages. He was he still is, very great broker, and very, very savvy. So I had the right partner at the time to be able to sort of navigate through it. He had his strengths, I had my strengths, and we sort of worked well together. So I was lucky, right?
How long was that period with Ausloans where you had that support?
About 4 or 5 years.
Oh,
Yeah, so only about a year and, we'll call it a year and a half, just to keep it easy. Year and a half ago, I went out on my own. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, going out on your own and having complete freedom over branding, over what it's all going to look like.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Daunting, because what a lot of people don't realize is, as a business owner, you've got two types of businesses. You're a contractor in your own business, which is you basically just work for your brand, like for your business. You're just an employee. If you're not in there, your business, it's got no value. You don't work, you're done, right? And then there's business, right? The right way to run a business, right? You've got your expenses, you've got your income, you've got staff that run it, you're running it at 10, 15% profit, whatever. So there's two types of businesses. And I decided early on that I was going to be the first type. I want to work. I enjoy being a broker. I enjoy speaking to the clients. I enjoy speaking to my accountant. I enjoy being involved in the marketing. I enjoy it.
So if I told you could have 10 staff, the business be self-sufficient, you wouldn't take that over being where you are right now?
I'll answer that question with this story, right? So there's a man goes on a boat. Swear to God, don't laugh, man goes on a boat, right? Every morning, jumps on his boat, goes out, goes fishing. Yeah? Catches 2 fish. Comes back, sells the first fish, pays for the boat, the cleaning, the fuel, everything like that. Second fish he gives to his family. Spends the rest of the day on the beach with his family. Kids, playing, whatever. One day, Mercedes flies past. Gone. Pulls up, right? Pulls up. I know, I love my sound effects.
Can you do it again?
No, absolutely not. Pulls up, is like, listen, I know you're a great fisherman. What you're going to do is you're going to go out there and you're going to catch 4 fish. So what you're going to do is you're going to sell the first one to clean your boat, pay for the boat. Second one goes to your family. And the next 2, we're going to keep selling them and making money. And then we're just going to put boat after boat after boat after boat, right? And then we're going to have this like team of boats and we're going to go public and then we're going to sell the company. And then he goes, and then what? And the rich guy goes, and then you can spend time with your family. So it's not always about having staff. It's not always about being this massive business. It's about understanding what you want from your life.
So what is the goal? Like, are you able to define it and
what I want?
Yeah, what you want.
I want freedom. Yeah? So if I had staff and all that sort of stuff, yeah, cool. I understand that it's going to get to a point where they are self-sufficient, and I understand that, and they are fantastic business models, but it's not what I want.
See, I feel like I don't have freedom now that we're small, right? Like, I feel like, my goal has changed the longer I've been around for, but I want to be able to go away for 8 weeks every single year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Money doesn't dry up. Like, the business is still, roughly at the same level, and I don't have to worry while I'm away. I feel like I can't do that.
Can you partner with another business?
You could probably split comms with
So
probably ways to do it.
The point is, there's always a way. It's just how much are you comfortable with. So if I want to go away, I'll just pass my clients onto Bash, who I'm working with, and if we're going to go away together, I'll just pass it on to another broker. Hey mate, you're going to look after these clients. Here's the agreement. Blah blah blah. Don't call me for 6 weeks. I'm away.
Has that? That goal and how you've defined it, has that changed through your experiences thus far with
absolutely.
Trying to have staff? And
absolutely. When I first went in and I saw how quickly we sort of went forward and how quickly we grew, mate, we got to hire more, grow more, hire more, grow more. And then it just got to a point where you're like, but what for? Why are you doing this for? What's having more staff, more people, more money? What's that going to give you? Right? At the end of the day, it's more money. That's why you're in business.
Not necessarily more profit all the time, though,
no,
right?
it's not. No, it's not more profit, but it's more. The whole point is to have more profit. So you get more profit, you buy nicer cars, you buy nicer jewelry, you buy nicer houses. It always comes down to the materialistic side of stuff. Right? So the only time I will change my process is if it gives me one of two things. Either gives me more time or gives me more freedom. If it doesn't do either of those things, I'm not interested. So recently I've implemented AI, right? And AI, so what it does is if you wanted a loan, whatever, you have a chat, cool. It saves me 10, 15 minutes at the start.
I think all of these things that you've implemented recently.
Yeah.
I think one of your greatest attributes is you're one of the laziest people.
I couldn't even be bothered coming here, to be honest. But I had to because you gave me a challenge. You said I wouldn't be able to find parking, so I was like, I'll fucking show him. But
here's the thing. People have this perception of, I'll probably say I'm we're different in that sense where
you're not lazy at all.
No, I'm not. Do you know what I mean?
You're not lazy at all.
I'm banging out, 50 cold calls a day.
You're so routine driven and I'm going to make my calls, and then if I make 100 calls, 10 of them are going to answer, and out of those 10, I'm going to book 2 meetings, and one of them is going to convert. So if every 100 calls, I'm going to get 1 client. If I do that for 6 months, blah, 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 that's how you work. I'm like, I don't want to make the calls.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? People have that idea that this is how, you're successful. And I always look at that. I'm like, I'm going to knock on more doors. This is the equation. This is how it works.
Yeah.
Whereas I love that you have this completely different mindset where your business is shaped and molded around your life and who you are. So you've got, tell us now for context, so you don't even have to speak to people anymore?
No, pretty much. So if you wanted a car loan, I'd just send you an application form. You'd fill it out. If you stop filling it out because you got lazy, you got distracted or whatever, my AI assistant will just message you and just gently follow up. And then you could just reply to that assistant like it's a normal person. It will just ask questions until it gets all the answers that it needs. And then it does a little credit report, privacy, packages it all up and sends it to me and goes, there you go, Mr. Ranieri. There's the client. What would you like to do? And I'll have a look at the credit report and I'll be able to know within 2-3 minutes whether we can help. So the initial phone call with the client isn't, hi, can I get your license details and where do you live? the first phone call is, hey, I've had a look at everything. That's irrelevant. Tell me about your problem. I'll let you know what we can help you with. That's the first phone call, and it's a little bit more powerful.
I love it. So you can sometimes almost do nothing.
What's happening right now?
Yeah, I love that.
So as we speak right now, I've got 3 clients filling out forms.
Yeah.
Because I messaged them in the car and I was like, hey, just letting you know, message my AI assistant. This is the number. And then when I'm done with this podcast, I'll review your situation. I'll let you know how I can help you.
Make money while you sleep, man. That's the dream.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But it's it wasn't like that at the start. That's what people don't understand. This is the thing.
So people will look at this and go, Adrian Ranieri, they'll look up LNDR Group, they'll see, polished website, reviews. They'll then probably get hammered with some sponsored ads.
Yep.
Right? They'll get video advertising.
Yep.
And let's be honest, 2 years ago, there's no way in hell you would have thought you could have had
a ghost,
an AI assistant,
nah.
These, sponsored advertisements on Facebook.
No. Because you got to build your foundations first in business. You have to build the foundation. You don't just start building a house and go, that's the kitchen bench I want. Bro, what slab? How thick? What framing? You go double story? How wide? I'm not even a builder. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
But how did you learn, do you know what I mean? So you get in business, you start up, you're like, I know I can help people with loans.
Yeah, because it's fundamentally simple, Nathan.
Yeah, 100%.
Business is income and expenses. That is what business is. Doesn't matter how big you want to get. It always comes down to income and expenses. So how much do I need to earn in order to cover my expenses? And then how much does a client give me? Cool. So how many clients do I need? Cool. So don't fucking stop knocking on doors or making calls until you get that level of clients. It's really not hard. The hard part is your brain. The hard part is your mindset. The hard part is when you get told, no, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You don't think you'd suit that client. The client says no. They're all the hurdles that come. But if you just keep understanding that every no is just closer to a yes, then it becomes fun.
Mm. What are the realities of being a small business owner?
People are always going to try and take you for a ride. Always. There are marketing companies, private, this is in my business, right? Marketing companies, private lenders, SEO, this, that, accountants, financial planners, fucking mortgage, whatever. Whatever it is, they're out there to get $1 from you. So you need to have a very thick skin. And that's my biggest flaw is I don't have a thick, I just say yes to everything. So all of a sudden I wake up in the morning and I've got 4 meetings, I didn't even know I booked them in. I've got 4 people coming to my office talking about.
That's because your AI assistant did it for
you. Yeah, I've got 4 people coming to my office and one of them's like, we're like this new business credit card and we're going to rival Amex. I go, fuck, beat it, man. Why are you here? Go away. How did you even get in here?
But see, but you need that though, because you wouldn't have learnt about, the lead funnel that you have now with, advertising on socials. You wouldn't have this AI assistant. So that sort of stuff, how does it come about? How have you learnt all these things in business now?
Well, I just found what I didn't like doing and I tried to figure out how I could fix it. So I didn't like that every time, let me rephrase. 50% of it was things I don't like doing and 50% of it was improving the customer journey, right? Because I feel like if you just do things for yourself, it doesn't resonate with the market. And if the market doesn't resonate with it, well, then it doesn't, the market doesn't give a shit about whether you don't like to do something. You know what I mean? So it was 50-50. So the way AI came into it was I personally didn't like taking apps, right? I don't like what's your first name, what's your last name, what's your email, what's your email, blah, 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 just going through it. And I understand it's a way to build rapport and whatever, but all of my clients come from trusted partners. So the rapport is there, right? And the second part of it is I'd always try to call the client. I'm at work. Can you call me at 5 o'clock? Cool. I'll call at 5 o'clock. Oh, sorry. I'm picking up my child. Can you call me at 7? Call at 7. Nothing. So there needs to be 2 equal parties that are receptive at the same time for there to be a conversation. AI allows you to do that whenever you want. So whenever the client is ready, go for it. Like last night, I literally had an email that came in at 4:15 a.m. She's a shift worker. So
She
just
wouldn't been able to do it
literally
otherwise.
just
Yeah.
like as she finished work, she was on the tram home and she just replied to the chatbot and it took a nap. And then I called her and I was like, oh shit, probably shouldn't have done that. But like she had an opportunity that other people wouldn't have had because all the traditional methods are, you got to call me back, you got to sign this, you got to email this. It doesn't, no, doesn't help the client.
Yeah. I was like, how do I, like, I don't know if it would work for us.
Look, I think it could. Like,
It could work for like basic things like collecting details for a reference check or something like that.
Yeah, it could, but you could also train it. For example, like you could put the job ad into the knowledge base for the AI, right? And then you could also add more details of that job ad of like, these are the skills and things that person needs, right? And then the chatbot could have a conversation like, hey, Nathan, how would you feel that your sales skills are out of 1 to 10? How would you feel that your, customer service or whatever? And then what it does is it gives you a detailed overview of that person. And then from that detailed overview, you can then match it and you can be like, right, well, I know that Nathan has self-declared 8 out of 10 here and blah, 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 blah. How can I do that? I think there's a real big limiting belief with technology and things like that. A lot of people think that it's going to take the job away from them. People will always need people. We are fundamentally community-based people. We like from the Stone Ages, we'd fucking go out together, hunt together. You know what I mean? Like we will always need each other, but there are so many things that have come through life that have made life more difficult because of technology.
Yeah, it's
at
the end of the day, it's like it should speed up our processes,
That's
enhance the customer experience.
That's all it should be. That's all it should be. It's not there to close a sale. AI is not going to close a sale, but AI is going to give you all the information. So when you walk in, you're going to know the bloke's blood type. You're going to know where his daughter went to school, and you're going to know what footy team his sons play for. And you're going to walk in and go, hey, I noticed, I'm thinking of sponsoring this, and I'm thinking of doing this. But I'd love to work with you. And what the fuck? How'd you know all that? Yeah, my son plays for that. Cool. That's what it's going to do. It's going to make you more equipped.
Yeah. How do you, one thing that coming here to record this, I was like, God, I've had a tough last 2 weeks in the sense that car got broken into, had to, and even on that day, right, like windows smashed, had to drive it to, to the panel beaters to still get back to work because I had meetings, right? And where I'm going with this is just the realities of being a business owner. Like last week, had the flu, still 100%, not feeling great, and the girls have been sick, Sylvia's been sick. When I say that to you, like the realities of being in business as a small business owner, I think people see the glamour and the lights and
yeah, man.
What is the reality of the hustle and grind that we go through?
The true reality?
That's what
like uncensored?
Uncensored.
So the reality is you wake up in the morning and you look at your phone first thing. That's the first thing you do, right? You want to see what emails have come through, and then there's always missed calls because people don't respect your time, right? Then you try to have a coffee, and while you're having a coffee...
Well, your time's different because you're woken up and it's 11:30, so...
10:30, just for the record, 10:30 a.m. Yeah, not 11:30, he's been a dick. No, but like, so you're having a coffee and then your phone's ringing again, right? Emails are going off. And you sort of build up this anxiety of like, if I don't get back to them fast enough, I'm going to lose it. Then you get to the office and there's always, or whatever, you open up your laptop and there's always something that's gone wrong or something that's new that's happened. So you got to put out that fire. And then you actually start your income producing work at like 1 p.m. when you're tired and over it. And then you got to do that. And then you think you're finished for the day. And then you go home. And then the phone rings again. And then at night, so this is my routine. And then at night, I normally jump on at like 8, 9 o'clock to the laptop again. And I'll do my like accounting stuff. Right? Not every night, asshole. Most nights I'm playing PlayStation, just for the record. I'm a dork. All right. And if you saw that wink, you can kiss my ass. Not most nights, but like I sort of got a bit of a routine where once a week, I'll do my Xero, I'll do my accounting, I'll have a look at the marketing for the week. And I'm just sort of like looking at all this other stuff that I could be doing. For me, to be honest, it's like 2 a.m. is when I do my best work. So it'll be 2 a.m.
Do you think if you took all that stuff away, because I look at it, I'm like, my God, I could place a lot of people if I was employed as a recruitment consultant, not having to worry about the accounting and the marketing, the managing of staff. Like,
absolutely,
I could.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. It's the easy way out.
Yeah,
go work for someone. Go enjoy. 150 grand a year. Go make a commission. 200 grand. Go on holiday 4 days. Yeah, beautiful. Go enjoy. But sometimes you're just fundamentally not built like that. Like I thrive in chaos. That's where I do my best work.
How have you navigated, like, I mean, in a normal situation, obviously you've had a lot of personal stuff going on, right?
Yep.
Normal situation, you take leave and, you know, like how has it, and again, the realities of owning a business, right? Like you can't stop.
Yeah.
Because it all stops.
Yeah. So because it's your podcast and because I value you, I'm going to delve into what's happened, right? So for the last 8 months, my mum started with a headache and then she went into hospital and she didn't come out the same. So permanently disabled, full-time carers, full-time support. I'll never get an I love you from my mum again, just for perspective, right? While running a small business and being on my own, while my business is in the first 12 months. So I'm still setting things up. I'm still setting up like accounting, right? Like basic things. Once I finally got some routine, my wife went into hospital. So last night I was in hospital for 12 hours, just for perspective. And I'll just say it this way. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, right? You can make excuses all you want. You can say, I don't have the time, I'm tired. And I do. Like on the way here, my wife rang me and I'm like, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm so tired. I just want to go to bed tonight and I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning until my body naturally wakes up. But sometimes you can't do it. And you got to take that responsibility and you just got to persist. And some people are not built for that. If you want to go and work and go be employed, that is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make you less of a person. Doesn't make you less of anything. It makes you someone who's self-aware of what their limits are. But as I said, I thrive in chaos. So the more chaotic things are, the better I work. And that's what I figured out.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was, like I've been going through that because, I don't know if I feel like I do love it. Like I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Like I'm always, I love the hustle, the chasing, the constant, almost anxiety that's surrounded by it. But I'm trying to, I was listening to, I've forgotten the book's name. But there was a podcast recently that I was listening to. I think the book's Unstressable. And I'm like, geez, I think like all of this is a conscious choice, right? How you react to all of these situations. Yeah.
But in everything, Nath. It's in everything. And you know what? You can sit here, like I can sit here and be like, yeah, I thrive in chaos and I'm this fucking super. No, mate. I fucking go to a psychologist. I break down. I call you sometimes like losing my fucking marbles and you're like, whoa, let me pull over. Let me rein it in. Like that is normal. How
important do you think it is to have that like person in your life that you can call?
The most important.
Yeah.
I think it's the most important. I think it's the fundamental thing that we're missing. I think we're missing friends in business. Everything's about networking. Everything's about like, what can you do for me, right? But no one's there for like, hey, I'm just going to be there for you. Like I showed you before we came in, I got a text message from another broker, right? Helped as much as I like opened my office, showed systems, showed this, showed that, processes in every way, shape or form, and then gave her a recommendation like, hey, why don't you try this business and just reach out to them and see if they can help you? And then just spat on my face. And then has the nerve to be like, hey, I'm having problems with my business. What do you reckon? But bro, beat it. Like, fuck off. I've got my friend in business, right? I've got my people that are close to me. And I don't care about where they're at in business. I don't care how successful they are. I just like them as people. And I think that's important.
You know, it's crazy that like it's so important to have people in your life that are truly happy for you.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I think
that's rare.
So
I think that's rare.
It is.
Yeah.
And what's really funny is like, I have not made it.
Dude, we are both so far from fucking made it.
Right.
Yeah.
Haven't made it.
Yeah, but let me give you perspective. I'm going to give you perspective.
Yeah.
Are you healthy?
All right, I've made it.
Do your daughters love you?
All right.
Do your daughters love you?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Is
They
your
love me
business
the most.
okay?
Absolutely. Right.
Bro,
What I'm saying is, I mean that general perception
Yeah.
is of, you know, whatever. Like what I'm saying is people look at me and they're like, oh, wow, success, you know, he's got a successful business, you know, all of these things. Wow. And then I've started to notice, you know, like comments here or there to be like, oh, Mr. Podcaster, like, you know, like all of these little jabs.
And
right?
are they from like friends?
You know, like
Acquaintances?
yeah, friends but you know, like it's just, it makes you realize it's like there are a few people that are genuinely
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, but because people are jealous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. People are jealous.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I was absolutely petrified of doing content. But when I had my marketing agency and they're like, what's the brief? And I'm like, I want to annoy people. I want to be so in their face that I fucking annoy them.
So isn't it
Yeah.
another thing that people probably wouldn't realize about you and I is that like stuff like that, it's still like, I think we make it look easy. Certain things look easy, but like this stuff scares us still as well. Do you know what I mean? Like
I'm so clammy. Like, I don't know if this has been getting recorded, but I'm actually sitting on my hands. Like, if I show you my hands, they're wet.
I'll hold them.
Like, no, I'm not. No, don't touch me.
no.
Absolutely
No,
not.
you
They're
have
fucking wet. Look,
I don't care,
See,
mate.
they're wet
That's
as
what
fuck.
I'm saying. I don't
like,
care.
I'm nervous. Like, I'm still
It's
nervous.
crazy,
We've been
bro.
doing this for 40 minutes, and I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just have to do it.
Yeah.
You got to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think that's the whole point of taking the leap. And when we were talking about this podcast and what you wanted to achieve, and you know, you're like, I just want to help small business owners be able to take this leap, and not feel like it's so daunting. And I was like, that's the best thing ever, because someone starting a business, like if you Googled right now, top 5 things to do to start a business, all of them are going to be like, talk to an accountant about your structure, get a website.
Important to get the structures right.
Of course, it's important to get the structures right. But just so you're aware, even if you wanted to start a business, you could even just do it as a sole trader under your own name. And then once you start making money, you can change the structure. So it's not like there are things that are important, and then there are things that are important at the right time.
Yeah.
And the only thing that makes any sense and is any level of importance at the start of starting a business is making the fucking money. Because everything else can be outsourced. You can pay the accountant, you can pay the marketing agency, you can pay whatever you want when you have the money. When you don't have money, you can have all the plans in the world, but they're just going to stay in your notebook.
Yeah.
That's all they're going to do.
Yeah. 100%.
So it's just make the money first.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing that I have learned, and I would probably say the thing that, yeah, it's the thing that helps me is, you know, I'm still getting there. I'm not, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you're learning.
I'm saying getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like
Yep.
I'm constantly, like if you just keep cold calling people,
Yep.
right? And you're having those conversations, say, hey, look, you know, notice you're, all right, meh, or fuck off, how'd you get, you know, like quite quickly, it's not going to be scary anymore.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and I think you just need to shift how you perceive it and what you're doing. But
I think we're talking a lot about like service-based businesses. Like I've got no idea about like commerce and retail and stuff like that. I wouldn't even know how to touch on it, right? But I think for service-based businesses, there's such a low barrier to entry financially.
yeah,
Like for me to start, just for perspective, for me to start.
and very little qualifications needed as well.
Oh,
With what I
mate.
do, what you do,
Dude,
like,
there's nothing.
do you
There's
think that
not-
makes it easier or harder for us to be successful though?
It makes it harder because you've got more competition in the market. Like look at financial
Yeah, but
advisors.
there's more duds.
Yeah, that's cool. They weed off eventually.
That's what I'm saying though. Like it's easier to look better.
It is easier to look better. You're right. It is easier to look better, but they're not also taking your clients. And even if they do, the client's not going to go back. Like I've got, you know how people have a resting heart rate? Right. So my business has like a resting income where if I don't do anything, I sort of know what my business is going to do. And I've seen that naturally grow over the last 5 years just from doing the right thing.
Yeah, mine doesn't have a resting.
Yeah, because you decided to do recruitment like a dickhead.
Fuck, what an idiot.
It's not my fault.
What would you say in terms of, preparation, right? You've got a concept, an idea, and let's say it's service-based to make it easy.
Yeah, it has to be service-based because I have absolutely no idea about anything else. Yeah.
Like, what do you do to prepare? You've got the concept, the idea. How do you prepare for it? How do you make sure you give yourself the best chance of being successful?
Do you want me to run through like when, for example, if I was to hire a broker under my business as a self-employed broker, what would I tell them?
Yeah, let's go down that route.
Yeah, because I think it's sort of like intertwines.
Yeah,
I'll tell them to have 6 months of savings, so 6 months of expenses saved. Have your structure right, so just engage in an accountant. You don't have to set up trusts and companies and all that bullshit and whatever. Just engage in an accountant. Let them know you're going to start a business. What you're intending to do, right? And then have a sales plan. So the plan has to be like, how many clients do I want? How many people am I going to call? How many people do I need to convert? What sort of income do I need to make? And then just sort of divide that by how long you've got. So, for example, right? Because I reckon that made absolutely no sense. I'm so sorry.
No,
you started touching your laptop. My eyes were like, what the fuck? What's he doing? So I completely lost my train of thought. But as an example, like when Bash started, I was like, right, you're going to call 20 people a day, 5 days a week. That's 100 people a week, right? And that should give you enough time to do all the other shit you need to do. So 20 people a day, out of those 20 people, 5 are going to answer. Out of those 5, you're going to book 1 appointment. So every day you're going to book 1 appointment. So every week you're going to have 5. You should be able to convert 1 in 5. So 1 in 5 by 4 weeks, that's 4 partners, 4 referral partners you're going to have every month. You're going to have 24 referral partners in 6 months. If they refer you 1 settled client, you are in 6 months, you're going to have 24 settlements. You're done. You're actually done. That's the plan.
And you know what's interesting,
Yeah.
right? Because of these automation tools, right? Because of, you've got automated tools that message people on LinkedIn. You've got automations from an email perspective, text message perspective. People are not picking up the phone anymore.
No.
Like there are no, like have you had a cold call recently?
No.
Like other than like set for like a ceiling fan or?
No. I got a cold call for my air ducts. It was like the 4th time I told him to fuck off.
These are vents, the ceiling vent
things? Yeah, to clean them.
Yeah.
I got a guy.
Did you do it?
Yeah. I told you, bro, I can't say no to no one. I get sold all the fucking time.
So you've probably got those little strips on the doors.
100%. Yeah, I've got the ab machines. I've got like the fucking pan, steak knife. I've got everything. I'm up at like 3 a.m. just buying shit off TV.
I actually forgot where I was even going with that conversation. What I was saying was like B2B, right? Like at the end of the day, if you're out there trying to start a business, service-based business, it's very easy to get data, find phone numbers, get someone to put that together for you, put it together yourself, and start calling. People are not, I've had, probably 10 emails today, like with a product or a service or a software that someone's trying to sell me. My number is very, very accessible.
Yeah.
Right?
Just ring.
Call. Start calling. So
but even just knock on the door.
Yeah.
Like knock on the door. Like our office building, we've got 2 levels of like 10 businesses each. I still haven't knocked on the doors.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's so simple. But just literally, hey mate, just letting you know, moved in over here. This is what I do. If you ever need anything, I'm always a phone call
And it's the thing, sometimes
like it's not hard.
And the thing is, it's so simple and you're actually differentiating yourself by doing something.
Yeah. Like if there was
That's
another
so
finance
easy.
broker that came into that office building that did exactly what we did and they knocked on the door, they are miles ahead of us. Miles ahead. And it's a door knock. It's literally just knocking on the door.
Start knocking, cuz.
Right, I can't be fucked.
I'll get my AI chatbot.
Unless I can go through AI, I'm not interested. No, but remember I told you resting heart rate for the business. You know what I mean? I don't need to door knock anymore. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to maintain and nurture. I'm learning a different part of the business. I went through the door knocking, the cold calling, the no's. I went through that. Now I'm at nurture.
All right. So obviously, let's try and give some takeaways to people listening. So obviously, pick up the phone, call.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, we're now both at the same, almost same amount of years in business, right?
Yeah.
What things would you say that you know now that if you knew at the start would be of tremendous value?
Oh, look, I don't have any specific tips, right? Because I think it's dependent on the person. I always say profit first. Mm-hmm. So always look at getting as much money through the door as possible, because once you have that, you can outsource the rest. You can outsource, like I had a marketing company do my email campaign. It was 6 months, cold emails, 100 emails a month, converted. Within 6 months, had all the referral partners. The exact same concept of cold calling.
Okay. But that's something
something you could do.
You could do.
Cold emails.
Yeah.
I think you touched on it before with the previous guest.
With Nick, yeah.
Yeah, with Nick. That's the one. Yeah. So cold emails worked well. Mm-hmm. Cold calling, an hour a day, works well. Align yourself with the right professionals. That's also our main one.
I think early on, like it's identifying as well the value that you'll bring and where your time is best spent, right? So
income producing, that's where it's best spent.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So for me, it's about, having my value is in having the conversation. So any way that I can fast track that or improve the process for me to actually be on the phone.
Yep.
That's what I try.
But when you started recruitment, right, would you have been like, I'm going to go to networking events and I'm going to do this and I'm going to like make myself as visible as possible and I'm going to do a podcast and would you have done all that?
Oh, you don't know, do you? This is how you learn. You learn by going through the journey.
You're
and meeting
right.
other people.
But
right?
you're 5 or 6 or 7 years in now.
Yeah, but if someone had told me, right, listen.
So this is interesting, yeah.
Get a virtual assistant, right? It's going to cost you $4 an hour. Save for an extra week before you go out on your own.
Got it, yep.
Right?
Yep.
And rather than you putting together this list that's going to take you 5 hours every day for the first month, right? Get them to do it for you so you can spend your time making phone calls.
It always comes down to the money. It always comes down to the money. Either save more before you start or work harder at the start to get more. But literally income producing. That's what your focus should be, on bringing income in. Once the income's in, you can have virtual assistants, you can have email marketing, you can do whatever you want. Yep. You've got the money coming in.
For sure. I think with, and we'll
Are we over?
No, we're going to the last part now. But before we leave, like what I was also saying is like, look, the reality is that, and I was talking about this with Bill on the last podcast, that what he's been able to create now. So he's got bond conveyancing.
Yep.
A lot of that has been there's been a network that he's had within a good friend that's a property lawyer,
of course.
a lawyer. And then he had all of the contacts because he'd done something previously in mortgage broking.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, only so much can happen immediately, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is just going to be time, being in the market, referrals. Like, John was in earlier, John Caccia, right?
Yeah,
Obviously,
cool.
John.
Yeah, absolute superstar.
He, like it's 90% of his customer base is from referrals, right? So the longer you're in it, the more customers you have, more referrals get. So at the end of the day, like it's an anomaly to have this business that goes from 0 to $100 million in the first year. Like the reality is it takes time. You need to be patient as long as you
absolutely
have the right behaviors and doing the right
absolutely.
activity, it will hopefully work.
Absolutely.
If there's market there.
Absolutely. And then, as you get further in business, you start realizing like what tasks don't need to happen straight away. Like cold calling and door knocking was so important to me at the start. Now I don't do it. now I'm all about like nurturing and marketing, content, and you know, sort of just getting your face there. Probably in like 5 years' time, it might be something else. In 2 years' time, I might be like, I actually just don't want to work in the business anymore. I want to work on it. So I might hire some staff. I might give that a crack. But it will change, and there's nothing wrong with it changing. As long as you can
spend time on the beach with the fish, right?
That's what it's all about.
With the fam. That's what it's all about.
That's, you know, that's what I'm working for. I'm trying to set things up so when I do one day have a family, I can spend and be there as much as humanly possible. I don't know how much longer I've got left with my mum, so I want to spend as much as possible with her, as much time as possible with her. So, you know, I'm in business to give myself time because I can buy everything else. I can't buy time.
I love it. I love it. I love you.
I love you too, mate.
Appreciate your friendship.
And I think it's important that everyone here knows I do love you, mate. Absolute superstar.
We're going to fucking... Oops.
Yeah, well, it's going to go on. It is going to go on. It's going to be on.
I'm glad your hands are already sweaty.
They're so sweaty. This is going to be perfect.
Thanks again. Love you. And obviously I'll give you a shout out, and obviously for Adrian's services, we'll have that in the link if people need anything asset finance related, anything that moves.
If it has a serial number and it moves, we can finance it.
Love it. Thanks again, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for listening to The Leap. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a follow, or even better, share it with someone who you think will get value out of it. Big thanks to our main sponsor, Ethos 360 Recruitment. It was actually just us sponsoring ourselves.
This podcast has been produced by The Content Engine.
We got the remedy. College and Giants. Yeah. Selling the streets, we buying it.